Hello, everybody.
Hello,
there.
friends.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome, you guys, to Feywild and Out. We're out here. Feywilden.
Just wild.
Is that a thing? We haven't come up with a, hello phrase yet that is the same every time, but thoughts? Bad? Never do it again?
I've heard better.
Sad.
We can workshop it. We can workshop it. It's
I'll take that as just the most disapproving statement out of all of it. I've heard better.
I've heard worse. I mean,
I've also heard worse.
But hi, I'm Jen. I'm your DM today, and we're here with Sparrow.
Hello, I am your favorite burb on the internet, A Black Sparrow. You can find me at twitch.tv/ablacksparrow, SherrickRobinson.com, and here on Mondays with the lovely crew that include great people like Suddenly Hero.
me. Hey, everybody. I'm Suddenly Hero. I hang out here every Monday, but I also hang out on my own channel. Playing games throughout the week on Sundays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. But tonight is all about D&D, and I could not be more excited to be hanging out with Pond Plays.
Hi, I'm Pond. I'm Pond Plays Games on Instagram. I am playing a really great character named Miss Mira tonight, and I'm so super excited to be here. I'm playing with Jade Valkyrie.
Hey y'all, I'm Jade Valkyrie. I'm a house cosplayer. I almost forgot the name for that. And content creator. You can find me most social media as Jade Valkyrie. I do a lot of nerdy stuff, so it's just better to follow me and figure out what I'm doing. But also, you can figure out. Wait, it's not George. Is it? Yes, it's George.
It is.
Yes,
George.
Nobody can
That's
figure
what
out
I
what he's
thought.
doing.
But no one knows
What
what he's
it's-
doing.
But also, let's figure out what George is doing.
Hi, I'm George W. Ambush. I'm a voice actor, a musician, and a tabletop RPG player, and I'm very excited tonight to be playing Fungi, the
The broken record.
Druid. I'm a
He's malfunctioning.
Someone, it's the mushrooms. They're getting to the brain. They're getting to the brain.
And yeah, I'm super excited to be DM'd by Gina Sonlini.
Hi, that's me. I'm Jen. Jen is online. I'll talk about myself later because I do way too much to talk about it right now. So tonight I'm your DM and excited. The only thing that I think we have to talk about right now is a thank you to the lovely Arkline for being an amazing Patreon sub, you guys. If you haven't checked out our Patreon, we upload all of our after game chats to Patreon. We have a ton of fun, cool perks like getting a letter in character from your choice of person and things like that. So that's just one of the many things on there, but I won't drone on about it. But does anyone else have any other thingies?
I'm excited to play D&D.
I believe Pond and I will be in a game and get together soon.
Oh yeah, that's Wednesday.
Yeah. I can.
That's in 2 days.
Yeah. Do you wanna do that, or do you want me to do that, Jude?
I feel like you got it.
Okay, so this Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Jade and I will be playing over on Blackwater D&D, where we will be raising money for Planned Parenthood, which is going to be super, super great time. It is an all femme type cast, I believe, and we're gonna be playing some pretty neat characters. I've been talking with the lovely DM M from Blackwater about my character. I don't know if Jade's been planning theirs, but
Oh,
it's
yeah.
gonna be a good
I'm playing
time.
a lore character. I'm so
Are you?
excited.
I'm
Yeah.
also playing a lore character. It's gonna be a good time. But yeah, you should check us out because it's gonna be a good, fun time.
Heck yeah. Nice. That'll be fun. And tonight's gonna be a good, fun time. Hopefully. Who wants to tell us what happened last time?
Last time, on Feywild and Out. Our lovely group of characters, we were in the small tabaxi and settlements somewhere in the wilds, and we played a game of pinpoint accuracy, right? It's pinpoint.
Mm-hmm.
I think, with the adorable tabaxi child named Hawkfeather, who is remarkably talented. He insulted my character's ability to hunt, which was a little offensive, but that's fine. We shared a dinner with Hawkfeather and his father before heading out on a mission to take out the goblins that had been killing the tabaxi settlement and also just disrespecting nature, which we cannot stand for. We headed out and we pretty much wrecked those goblins. Hawkfeather is terrifying and just silently killed like 7 of them. I don't know. And we all got to see how awesome everybody was, and then we ended.
Yeah. We ended right after the battle. The only, I'd say, important detail is that, sorry, that was missed, is that when you guys were entering the camp, other goblins were leaving. So you guys are aware that there is more still in the forest who may return at some point, who may be to another camp. You don't know. But you did recognize that there's more out there, and you slaughtered a lot of them. So, but yeah, that was good. That's all we did. It was good. It was a blast. And I'll start some music.
Ooh.
Music.
It is still dark outside as the firelight kind of illuminates these small areas around you. The group standing in the center of slaughter of goblins and buildings and everything alike. Hawkfeather, he jumps over the fence and kind of rejoins the group, but around you guys is the large drumming area that you heard as you guys were entering to alarm more goblins in the area that you guys were there. You knocked him out, but he did play for quite a while, so that's a little bit of a concern. And around you is 4 kind of tent-like bone structures made of like bone pieces from large animals and ripped up leathers that are just haphazardly thrown together with yarn and some sticks that are kind of tied together to hold what looks like prisons, a little bit more like cages with no tops. And there's a big bubbling, boiling pot of what appears to be this deep red liquid with a whole arm sticking out of it, with the hand and claw of a tabaxi. On the table next to this pot is just pieces of bodies. It's grotesque, and the blood is fresh on some of them and old on others. It doesn't smell good, but what can you expect from goblins, especially ones that eat humanoid races? And around the area there seems to be a general calm. There's a stream on the other end of the camp that leads outward where there is no gate. Looks like maybe they'll fish from there or something, but there is spikes that are shoved into the stones and into the sand around this river, so they're trying to keep things out of it at least. But around you, you have the 4 tents, and you have a lot of lookout points, and the drumming area, and the humanoid bubbling pile of goop extending past the gates is just kind of thicker forest as you look outward.
H is gonna head over to the shaman and kind of start inspecting that fool.
Okay. You want to roll? What are you looking for? To see if he's alive? Looking for something specific, or just
see what he's got on him?
Okay, investigation check, please.
Lovely. I will do this. Or maybe I won't. Nope. Okay, there it is. And 18, please and thank.
Yeah, so you kind of kneel down, inspecting this goblin's body, who, if you remember, it's been a few seconds, but for those listening, if you remember, he grew in size as you guys were throwing magic into him. And you can see that with all of the orifices that he has, not including pores on the skin, there seems to be this greenish, blackish steam kind of exiting through his ear ducts, through his ears, through his nose and mouth. And he's laying there, sprawled out. He has these very gangly, light green arms and a very large, crooked nose. He has this robe on, and underneath it is one single dagger. You pull it out, it appears to be pretty regular. There's nothing fancy about it. It's, in fact, pretty poorly made. It's held together by string and something that you can assume is glue of some sort. And he doesn't have much on him. He has one single toe ring on his toe next to his pinky that is kind of red in color. But you'd have to touch feet to take that.
Before anything else,
Okay.
I think what she would do is she was gonna grab one of her hand axes and kind of just do that thing you see in you may see in a film where they kind of just like throw it down, like axe throwing it, and she's aiming for like she's trying to cut his head off, basically, just like sever the neck from.
Okay. I would say just some damage. Roll some damage. See how easily it's, if you're hacking or if it's a clean slice.
That is an 8.
Okay, so with a little bit of a hack, you're kind of slicing your axe into, or did you use the dagger? I'm sorry.
No, she's using one of her axes. She's
okay. Yeah. So you kind of slice your axe and get to the bone where you have to kind of begin to force it. It's really gross. The head kind of slides and grinds off, eventually splitting. And his head is off.
Better
Blood
to make
kind of begin
sure.
to pool.
Better to make sure it's done then, eh?
Well, with him especially, I thought, hey, Hawkfeather.
Yeah. Kind of jumps down from a looking point and runs up. What?
She waves him over. So you say that they took some of your people as heads as a warning, yeah?
Yeah, and he behind his back, he pulls kind of like a tabaxi skull that has been rudimentarily wrapped in rope, and he pulls it up, and he goes, "I think this one's my uncle." And he kind of lingers, looking down at the cut up head, and then he, at that point, seeing the cut off head, he kind of tucks the skull under his arm a little bit, tenderly.
Well, if you want, now you have one of theirs to take.
Well, I feel like while revenge is wonderfully served, he looks around at all the dead bodies around. I don't think an invisible town really needs a skull outside of it.
Oh,
Especially
no,
one
this was just
that-
for you, not for the warning.
Oh, I was like, well, that would be a little, I don't know. You know, maybe,
Listen, if you don't want it, that's fine. I just thought I would.
Do we have to give the kid a skull? I mean,
I'm just nervous that it might make my dad upset, or someone in the town upset, because, like, a constant reminder and whatnot, and I had to skin a head, and then that would be really gross.
That's all
and
well
pulling
and
out
fine.
just pulling out the cheese meat. He's just kind of going on in really disgusting detail about this.
That's all well and fine, but you did make one mistake.
What?
This is not over, young one.
Well, I kind of assumed like that because there was some goblins that left when we were coming in, right? So we can go kill them, or we can wait until they come back and then ambush them, or we could pretend they were never here. But at least I have this, and this is why I came. But
Well, this was your operation, so you tell me what you want to do.
for a moment, you kind of see a little bit of like nervousness behind this young Tabaxi's eyes. Well, if I know anything, I know that in every town, he kind of looks around, not everyone is bad. So, I haven't seen any kids. I haven't seen any women. I've only seen them here, so I feel like they expected us to come. And essentially, we just killed all the goblin dads that we can see, so now goblin kids have to grow up with no dads. I don't even know if that matters, because I don't really know anything about goblins' ways of living. I know that these ones have been kind of squeezes a little bit on the skull of his uncle. Maybe more barbaric options to living, but that's why I'm here, protect my town.
I mean, they were all warriors, and part of that is the possibility of death. And so they met their end. It doesn't mean that they're all gone. But
Yeah.
these ones are.
During this conversation, Fungi has been ensuring that the spores are spread to all the corpses.
Kind of dipping down, spreading the mushrooms, standing out.
Yeah, they're still in their
Okay.
spore form, their symbiotic entity.
Okay.
So they're still like raining spores for the time being.
Okay.
And they're just kind of like shaking out and allowing them to take root.
In a pretty quick manner, anyone watching could see that like little mushrooms are kind of beginning to crawl out of the necks of some of the goblins that are dead on the floor. Fungi is just happily spore spreading. As
And
Amara,
it's
what are
just-
you doing?
Oh, cool.
Sorry.
No, it's totally fine. Thinking this on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
But yeah, Amara's hanging out by the gates. Just keeping watch,
On the outside or on the inside? Like looking out or looking in?
looking out,
Okay.
presumably to where people could
perception.
come back in.
Yeah, make a perception
Yeah.
check.
That is 20.
Nice. So as you're looking out, kind of into the darkness of the night, it's kind of a dimmer color for you having night vision. You see some movement of trees from the wind, but you can hear the wind coming and it reactive in the same way. You see a couple birds fly out, and a couple coming home to sleep. But nothing except a couple footprints catch your eye, leading out, the ones that passed you as you were coming in. You can see pretty clearly where their feet were digging into the mud. And you could follow it if you wanted.
So, are we gonna stay here? Are we gonna go follow them? Are we heading back?
I just wanted to look through these tents real quick, make sure we didn't like miss anything important. And I'm making direct eye contact with Amara and like gesture with my eyes towards Hawkfeather.
Grab anything we might need too.
Right, that, yeah.
You know what I noticed?
Hmm.
They don't have any food here. But he kind of
Well,
looks towards the cauldron. Maybe they had that to eat all the time?
I don't know much about these kinds of peoples. I don't know if they just only consume meat or if it's somebody else, something. Do they have like vegetables that they eat? I don't know much.
No.
Perhaps through maybe this was like a war camp, and there's another camp where they keep the women and children somewhere farther in.
That'd be smart. Like one that you live in. But yeah, I'll be here. I feel like I need to say something to my uncle. He kind of takes the skull under his arm and kind of looks at it and looks up and sees you guys and he gives you a polite nod as he slinks away through the front door, passing Amara. And Amara, you see him kind of going around the wall.
Are there any other skulls of tabaxi?
Yeah, so pretty easily, with your passive perception, you see just basically on every spike that is hanging over the gate, there is a string with different. Not all of them are tabaxi, in fact.
I'm gonna go and collect them.
Okay. I could roll a survival.
Okay.
And Mist, you're gonna check out the
I'm gonna check out the
little
tent.
tents.
8.
Okay. So you manage to get a few of them down. Some of them, actually crumble as you touch them. You feel not that you were being too harsh with it, but that they were there for a while.
Sure.
And a few of them are tabaxi shaped. A few of them appear to be human skulls, which you're not aware of that being around here. So, how long have these goblins been here? Kind of what you're to think for survival.
I'll just gather up the tabaxi ones.
Okay. So, kind of like looking at the human ones and all the kind of like sifting through what's there, you gather all the tabaxi ones that are on the sticks pretty easily. Those ones appearing to be fresher than the other one. And Mist, you kind of step into one of the tents, which is not locked, it's made of cloth. You kind of like open up the cloth door, essentially, and see a whole entire tent of buckets full of smushed up meats. It smells rank. There's flies around it. This is the first tent on the right of 4 tents. As you were even stepping even closer to the tent, the scent was getting so strong. The floor underneath is just dirty, blood mixed with dirt and disgusting with footprints.
Can I make a con save to see if I keep my guts? Okay.
Please do.
I feel like that would be needed. Okay, so 19. So I gag a little bit, and then I'm like, oh, and then I just close the tent back up. Like,
You're able to hold it together, but in fact, with your con save, you recognize the scent a little bit as kind of like minced meats that possibly happen. The same scent possibly arises, maybe not as rotten, but through surgeries, things done as a cleric, past or experienced around you.
Oh, all right then. That's special. That's disgusting. All right. Don't bother with this one. It's quite gross. And then I'll just move to the next one.
Yeah, in the next tent, you open it up, and surprisingly, right next to the minced meat debacle, there are hay straw beds in the very next one, and there appears to be one that is larger than most. It has an actual like sort of structure to it with sticks. The rest of them are just hay thrown about with some cloths and bedding indicating plots of sleep.
Would the larger one would it be like would I be able to deduce that it was either like for the shaman or would it be for someone that was like bigger than...
Yeah, you can do a survival check is good.
Yeah, survival. All right, let's go.
Good at that.
13.
Yeah, so it pretty clearly looks like the size of a little bit larger of a goblin. So it could have been the size of the drummer, or it could have been the size of the shaman.
Okay, but not like a
possibly
tabaxi.
deemed more important. Not tobacco.
Okay, perfect. And then I'll
The size of like a twin-size bed.
twins. Oh, looks comfy. All right then. I kind of just want to go down the line and peek in. I'm afraid to like shove my whole face into any of them because that was the first time I did that was terrifying.
The third tent that you open up the cloth kind of window and see just like a couple racks of daggers, all looking pretty nicely shelved. This tent is actually really clean. The dirt below seems to have been maybe pushed away. Like something of importance happens here, but there's like 4 daggers in this specific area with nothing else in here. There's a small pillow actually, in front of the daggers, like for sitting or meditating, possibly.
Can I like go in and like get and like inspect the daggers a little bit more? That
Sure.
seems religious in nature.
Yeah, you can do a investigation or a religion check.
Oh, let's go religion.
Recognizing that it appears to be some form of an altar.
An 18.
You immediately recognize this to be an altar of the Mad God, which is a god of destruction, but also wisdom, and many smaller sort of races like kobolds or goblins or the more destructive types tend to utilize sacrifices when praying or being religious to these gods. You pick up the dagger, one of the 4 that all look the same, and it has the symbol of the Mad God, which is a fire emblazoned heart shape, which you also recognize to be the same symbol that was burned into your skin after having that wild dream.
Whoo! All right then. And I'm gonna take one of the ceremonial daggers. I'm gonna just pocket
You can
that
add a
bad boy.
ceremonial dagger to your inventory. Or dagger, label it ceremonial.
Gotcha. And then I guess just the last one.
Kind of pop out of the last one feeling a little accomplished, and one of the tents is actually facing a different direction. And as you pop in, you see that it has shelves inside of it with haphazardly thrown clothing, like leathers, furs, all mixed together, some cloth, all small in nature, and just this is apparently where they keep the clothes that they don't ever look at or wear. Maybe it's from the people that they killed, maybe it's theirs.
I just want to pilfer through the clothes and see if it looks like they're like women and children clothes, or if it looks like they're too big for the goblins, that kind of thing.
Yeah, you roll for investigation.
Alrighty, and then flat roll is a 4.
A 4. Well, picking up and sifting through mounds of clothing, you recognize that some of them are coats, some of them are pants, some of them are other things, but none of them are like the same rags that are all the goblins are wearing. They do tend to be
Interesting.
different sizes.
Alright then. I feel rather accomplished, so I'll probably head back towards the group.
Cool. So while Mist was pilfering through all of the tents, what was everyone else doing? Kind of at the...
I assume Rogar was just during that time collecting the skulls and stuff, putting them and finding maybe something to put it in,
Okay.
bag or a piece of cloth enough to wrap it.
For sure. Pretty easily next to the drummers, kind of stage is the word I was looking for. You find a bucket, and it's large enough to hold most of the skulls. So you get
Sure.
a little help.
Perfect.
Trips is gonna check on the signaler themselves, see if they have anything.
Okay. You can roll an investigation check.
That is a 14.
Yeah. So inside of his pockets is a wooden rod. It looks like it's whittled to be a cylinder with flat edges, and that is all he has on him. He has a necklace with a couple sharp teeth on them, 3 teeth to be exact, and they're just wrapped around his neck with a leather cord.
She's gonna take that.
Okay. And as you put your hands on this cord, you feel a little bit peppier, more ready for action.
Okay.
So you can make a custom item for an unknown necklace
Ooh.
for your inventory.
Unknown.
Getting the loot.
During this time, Amara is just hanging out near the gate,
Okay.
still keeping watch, but now she's having some dancing lights kind of dance around her fingertips, all chilling.
Ever so often you see Fungi come back just to ensure that he didn't miss a spot. And you're like, yep, you've come back 3 times now. Fungi, were you doing anything else?
Do these goblins have gardens?
Roll a nature check as you're walking around the premises.
You want me, the druid, to make a nature check?
Why,
Impossible.
yes, I do.
The gall. 22.
Yeah, so Fungi, you actually take a step into the spring that leads outward, and the mushrooms that are kind of bursting forth from your ankles, they sense and feel some very peculiar moss below. It's the only thing that you determine to be garden-like around, other than grass and trees.
How far away is the moss?
The moss is at your feet, right along the edge. As you step further in, it seems to change in thickness, and you can't feel the bottom of the stream, just this moss.
It's pretty thick.
It's pretty thick. 2
Thick
C's
moss?
of moss.
Fungi's gonna like scoop some up and inspect it.
So as it leaves the water, kind of like being scooped up, you begin to, I guess, sense that the mushrooms below this moss are beginning to burn. And while the mushrooms are still attached to your body, you do genuinely feel the burning extending into your arm. And you take 1 single point of fire damage.
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
rolled low.
Down to 11 temp HP. Fungi kind of like tilts their head, looks at it.
It is strange how some sustain us and others hurt us.
And they just kind of set it back in the water. And fungi will kind of shake loose some spores in case they root in water. They don't know if that's possible or not, but
Almost immediately as your spores enter the water, you can see that the spores get singed, the moss actually eating it.
fungi
In
will
that
just
moment,
be
you recognize that you picked up a creature.
a what?
You picked up a creature after you see it move to eat the spore.
Okay. Well, fungi will sit there at the edge of this water and just kind of like leave their spores all along the waterbed at the edge, so that hopefully the spores will take root and then fight off this creature or infect it.
Okay. So as this fungus kind of spreads slowly from the outside of the water into the water, each moment that the fungus touches the water, it gets sucked in by a small mouth.
So
The edge.
what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to like set up like
A perimeter
rows of
around.
mushrooms around the water,
Yeah.
so that they will be putting the spores into the water over
Okay.
time.
Over time. But as you are putting your perimeter up, anything that does touch the water a little too gets snapped off. But you see that your mushrooms appear to take root.
Okay.
In some spots, at least. Hawkfeather kind of running around the edge, holding his uncle's skull, sees Amara's dancing lights in front of her. How do you do that? He kind of huffs a little bit as he's probably ran off a little far away.
Well, it's very simple to me, at least, but kind of just think about 3 different points and boom. It's really hard to explain, sorry.
No, I that's a talent that I don't have. I just have my crossbow and my hands. And he raises his hand in front of you, and you see that his paw is kind of like completely drenched in blood. Dried a
Well-
little bit. It's been a little bit of time since he ripped the guy off the wall.
I mean, well, that's pretty neat too, I would say. I mean, it's a lot better than what I could do with my hands.
He smells his hand a little bit. It's definitely awkward. And he's like, Unfortunately, they smell like they've eaten me. It smells like me.
I have some water if you want to wash it off, or
Oh, I don't like water.
that's fair.
But I do
I
need
didn't
to...
think about that.
I mean, can you... If I put my hand out, can you, like, dump the water on my hand?
Yeah. Just stay still,
Okay.
and Amara will grab her second. She carries 2 water pouches on her. one for emergencies and one just to drink out of. She'll take the emergency water and hold it and be like, okay, are you ready?
Uh-huh.
All right. On the count of 3. 1, and then she dumps it.
So from across the camp, you guys hear Hawkfeather just go, ah! Ah!
Honestly, it's a little bit adorable. A little killer like you, afraid of water.
My dad always wants me to take baths, and I just, you actually hide better in scenarios where you have to kill things if you cake yourself with stuff that smells like the environment. And sometimes that's blood. So, you see that, like, some of the blood has come off of his hand, but he didn't like rub or anything, so it's still there.
Maybe if you rub your hands together.
Why do you sound like my dad?
Yeah, make sure you get up to the wrist,
He's whining. There's the child.
think about it this way. If you touch things and you're trying to be really sneaky, and you touch them with your hands covered in blood, want to leave tracks? Prints?
You're right. He puts his hands onto the floor and just completely starts rubbing his fur into the ground, raising his arms. They're covered in dirt. Fixed it!
Yep.
Gross.
This is better than blood. And that there's dirt everywhere here, so progress. I hope, yeah. But did you make a decision on what you'd like to do? Are you going to stay here with us, or are you going back home?
Well, where are you guys going?
Honestly, I don't know myself.
Well, sounds like you should go back with me then, instead of me staying here with you. Unless you don't want to. That's fine too.
I mean, I wouldn't mind, but of course we have to vote on this kind of stuff. Although I'm not really sure what would happen if we have 3 who wanted to go one way and 3 wanted to happen to go another way. Wait, there's only 5 of us. I guess, would you count as a vote? Would Squirt count as a vote? Does Squirt even have an opinion?
There's one thing I have learned through losing most of my family and being the only hunter is that you don't split the party.
That's true, that is true. It'd be really hard to track anyone down since we don't know.
You'll be finding
most
their
of us
skulls
know.
on the outside of goblin camps.
Yeah, no. I guess wherever they go, I go. I don't want that to happen.
What about our skulls on the goblin camps?
Oh, nothing. Just if you're bad, I'm gonna do it to you.
Oh god, please don't.
I wouldn't. Today. You're not threatening me, you're not threatening my family, and you helped me get my uncle back, so not today.
Well, thank you for letting us live another day.
I'm not. You guys are strong, and I can see it. You guys fought really impressively.
You did as well. You are a mighty hunter.
You didn't even see me.
I saw you.
I don't think so.
No, he didn't.
I didn't think so.
Uh,
But that's the mightiest of all. The sneak attack. He makes a overdramatic childlike, sneaking, pose as he's the sneak attack.
Well, if everyone's curiosity is satisfied, I think we should get out of here, yeah?
where's Fungi?
Oh, he's over there. You see Fungi sitting hunched over this river.
If Fungi, what are you doing?
I'm simply trying to change things for the better.
It is a noble cause. Rogar's gonna go over, see what he's doing, or they're doing.
I'm gonna follow.
I think I will too.
What do they see as you come over? As they come over?
They see fungi kind of like hunched at the edge of this water source, just kind of like taking a few mushrooms by the stem and kind of planting them into the earth, and also just kind of like brushing the underside of the cap that's on their head, and just like trying to get as many spores at the edge of this water as possible. And they're just kind of like going back and forth and tending to each one, and like communicating in like low tones with small sounds that a human could not recreate. And it's just very odd and alien.
Oh, what you doing here?
I'm making sure that the mushrooms take root.
Are they? Is there a reason that you're spreading them so far?
Well, you see, I went to touch the moss to find out more about it, and it burned me. So I concluded that it is best to get rid of this aggressive species.
It burned you?
It burned me.
Amara, you're good with like naturey things. Do you know what this is? That would a moss that burns?
Do I know what this is, Jen?
Can you make a nature check?
Let's see. Perhaps she does. Oh, with a 15.
Yeah, so essentially you're picking up... Oh, sorry. Did you pick it up?
You know what? Why not? Yeah.
Make a con save, please.
Yeah. Ooh. With my super duper constitution of 8. That's a 5.
So, as you pick it up, the second that it leaves the water, you feel the similar explanation of heat, and take 2 points of fire damage, as you can feel the warmth turn to heat as it touches air and burns your hand. Whether you drop it or not, that's up to you, but you're looking at it. So a nature check.
Yeah, that was a 15.
That you recognize this to be just kind of like regular peat, which is just moss, regular moss, the squishy kind. But it does have these flowers that are purple and red, and as they raise from the water, they kind of begin to brighten in color as they burn your hand. Whether it's attached to the sun, whether it's attached to the air, you're not quite sure. You haven't seen this before. But you deduce how it works.
Gotcha. In that case, yeah, Amara is going to grab out of her satchel one of her spare just empty pouches and then put some of the moss in there very quickly, kind of like when you're handling a hot potato. It's like,
do you just put it directly into your bag, or do you put it into
like it's almost like a medieval Ziploc bag? You don't have plastic.
Like a leather satchel.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's another one. Like a pack of like sandwich-sized leather pouches available.
Or something.
Okay, like a little leather pouch.
I feel like her like carrying glass would be so like she would just have like a disadvantage on stealth checks if she had that much glass.
Wobbly.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
we
so
make do with the leather.
It sits in your little pouch, and you inspect it for a moment just to see if it's gonna burn through the bag, and it doesn't. At least the few seconds that you watch it for, and put it away, and it doesn't seem to be generating any heat.
All right, so that was really, really, but don't really know exactly what I mean, it's normal moss, but like the flowers, those are different. So it could be the flowers, not the moss, or it's growing on it. This isn't really usually my specialty since I'm not really around this area much often, but I grabbed some, obviously, and we can study it for later. But yeah, that's all I got.
So you can add unidentified moss as like a custom item.
Heck yeah.
So, have your questions been answered and have
No.
passed a
No.
moral test?
Not really. I was just wondering. But you know, do what you will with your spores as long as they're not in my mucous membranes. I'm probably a happy camper.
Oh, they're well within all of you at this point.
Rogar is looking at Mist with concern, like a general look of concern.
Welcome in, Raiders. Torrent
Welcome,
TTV.
Raiders. Hello,
Welcome,
Tori.
welcome,
Welcome.
Raiders. The spores have taken you as well.
Oh no.
So
It's too late.
don't worry, Rogar. It's probably fine as long as we stay on his good side. You know, don't.
Well, I was thinking about that. Should you fall to the mortality of your races, I would be able to help with that.
Don't do that for me, please.
Help? How exactly would you do that?
Well, I could bring you back with your consciousness intact, or I could bring you back without it.
Oh, consciousness intact would be preferred, I think, by literally everyone.
Yes, one
Here.
consciousness, please.
Alright, I will keep that in mind for when you perish.
When? Lovely. So, friends, and Mist is gonna turn away from Fungi, and just like their dark red eyes just sort of like glinting off of the firelight and the thing, in the camp, and just be like, so where are we going from here? What are we doing?
Hopefully not dying anytime soon.
I mean, that would be preferable. I don't really want to become that. And I'm just going to point at, like, the mushroom-covered body. One of the 17.
Miss, as you turn around, you do see that Hawkfeather is waiting at the gate. Hasn't received an answer, so he's kind of... So, do I leave? Do I... like, he's just kind of, like,
just
shifting his weight from foot to foot, like,
Just a moment, Hawkfeather.
Okay.
We're deciding. I'm sure you can hear everything we're saying.
I can.
So,
Mhm.
Yeah, that's fine.
Of course.
So where do we want to go, friends? Trips, Samara?
Trips is like over by Hawkfeather. She did not come along.
Trips!
So Trips, while the group was investigating this moss, Hawkfeather actually leans to you, just because he's a child. You know, I bet, runs with water knows what that moss is. He's really smart.
You mean whatever they're talking about over there?
Oh, right, yeah, so, Fungi found some moss in the water, and, Amara picked it up and said that it, well, I didn't say anything, but thinking, so.
I think that is something that will be very useful for Amara to know. Are you asking me to tell her?
Well, I don't want to shift anyone's opinion on whether or not they come back to my place, because, I mean, we haven't had guests this long, and, I'm sure you can always find the knowledge somewhere else, too. So,
Well,
you either get it fast or get it later. Huh. Either way, you're
or
gonna
not
have...
at all.
Or you're gonna come home with squirrels either way, so it's just gonna take a while, or it's gonna take a little bit of time.
I will inform Amara.
He begins the shifting that Mist sees. He's kind of like, do I go home? Do I stay here? Like Mist or Rogar called over to H.
Yeah.
Oh,
What?
yes.
Amar. Yes.
Do you want to move forward through the wilderness, or do you want to go back with Hawkfeather? We're taking a vote.
I believe going back with Hawkfeather would be a good idea for now.
I don't see
Alright.
anything
Yeah.
wrong with that.
I agree.
Fungi, what about you? You're outvoted at this point, no matter what. But you know, everyone's opinion matters here.
Well, my speaking is only formality.
No, I want to know what you want to do.
Well, then I want to go back to Hawkfeather's house.
Oh, then we're all in agreement, and that's really convenient.
Even if you disagreed, it's okay. We just, it's important to know.
Exactly, and you could pose a really, interesting argument for going somewhere else, and then we could all change our minds. You should always speak your opinions.
Fungi tilts their head to the side.
Curious dog style.
All right then.
So,
Alright.
Amara,
Yeah. Oh. What? Yeah.
Runs with water may know what it is that you put in your bag there.
I guess that makes sense if they are pretty much native to here or locally here now. Yeah. Okay, so double +1 to my vote. Now I really want to go back.
and there'll probably be food back there too.
She turns to Hawkfeather with a wink and says nothing else.
Rogar turns to Squirt. Do you want to go back to camp? Okay.
Well,
His
we
little-
could
his little,
sit
like,
here.
Seat belt that he tied the little around him is still intact. He's through the battle and everything.
Oh my god.
I just remember that Squirt was like on him when he jumped above the key.
Squirt feels like the mightiest mouse right
Oh
now.
my god. Yes.
Well, I
Wild
suppose we
ride.
should get moving before,
Yeah.
we get company back and all that stuff, so.
That's
and
true.
She,
I wonder where they went though. That is a good question.
Well,
What?
I heard them leaving to the. You see his ears kind of like doing a scan. Sonar scan. I actually don't hear them. But when they were leaving, I did hear them going east.
Yep. There's, tracks already in the front area. If it hasn't,
Oh, really? He like
Yeah.
looks behind him onto the floor.
yeah, the ones that lead outwards.
Oh,
That's only if we really want to go grab them. I guess we could grab them and then go back to the village, or we could go back to the village and then track them later, or just leave them be.
well, the way I think about it is if we leave them, then they're going to come back and realize that they've been hit.
Yeah.
And they may do something about that. But if we kill them, then eventually someone's going to come here and realize they've been hit, and then they're going to do something about that.
Cycle continues. That's why we have a hidden face.
So everybody, be careful of your footsteps and let's go back.
yeah.
Especially you, Half-Orc boy.
I mean, what's a few more dead goblins today, eh?
It could mean quite a few more dead tabaxi if we're not careful.
Or less if we killed them all.
I'm not inclined for, complete extinction, but we've got
No,
to find a
I-
way to make peace between these people.
Because we
before
already know we did not kill them all. We literally watched some of them leave, so.
Right, I'm just saying. If
Uh,
we could find a way to make peace with them.
Hawkfeather,
Unlike
you
the
put
mob.
your ears to good use to make sure that they're not watching us, yeah? Your ears and senses and such.
Of course. I didn't hear what you said. That was surprising to me that I didn't hear it. Looking to fungi.
Not unlike the moss, aggressive species should be dealt with before they get out of hand.
I'm weirdly in agreement with fungi.
Huh?
Blake gives him a look.
Gives
Oh,
Rogar a look or
oh,
fungi a
oh.
look?
Fungi a look at that aggressive species content. Comment rather.
I just don't.
Did Mist share about the altar and the dagger? Alright, cool. Never mind.
The
They
only thing that I shared was the nasty meat tid, and to not go there.
Gotcha.
they eat these people. It's not. I don't know what kind of peace can be made from this.
Well, I
If
mean,
myself and others like me were eating people, would you not kill me?
aren't you
and my
technically
ilk.
eating people with your spores when you put them on the dead bodies?
No. The spores are eating them.
But the spores are sort of part of you, and I'm gonna like very gently like poke one of the mushrooms that's protruding from Fungi's chest.
I felt that.
Oh, I didn't know that you could feel these. I'll not touch that again. Sorry.
Well, usually I would agree with Mist in that we should probably, just make peace with them to make sure that like there's no like killing when we leave. But the thing is that they are eating people. So I don't even think that they even think of the villagers as people if they're eating them. Like their version of people, not like our version of people. So, and we can't communicate. So, I mean, we could, but there's no guarantee. Honestly, they probably would kill person communicating before we could get our word out, you know?
Hawkfeather. Oh, sorry, Rogar.
Oh no, I was just going to say, can anybody speak Goblin?
Same brain cell.
Nope.
I can cast a spell, so I can speak Goblin, but I can't normally.
Interesting. Well, we should probably head back, and then once we're back in camp, we can make a decision, maybe?
It's better than just standing in the forest.
Surrounded by dead bodies and a
Yeah.
tent full of mincemeat, probably.
Speaking of that, was there anything else in the tent?
There's a tent full of minced meat.
Oh, I wouldn't go in there, Hawkfeather. I'm surprised you don't smell it already with that nose.
I smell death, but
oh,
there's a lot of
it's-
it around. So
There's a lot of death in that tent.
he slinks off, and do you see him?
I just kind of like reach after him in the air. Like, no, don't.
No,
don't go.
stop.
I found the sleeping quarters, and there was a tent full of like clothes and stuff that was there. I couldn't really tell. It didn't look like anything that the goblins were wearing. But there wasn't much. Just, a couple of weapons.
Well, I mean, that makes sense, because when we saw the dead bodies, there really wasn't any clothes on them, so I guess I have to put them somewhere.
Oh, that makes so much sense, because I was sitting here thinking that the goblins just had like nice fancy wear. That makes more sense than what I had come to the conclusion of. It's interesting that they're so organized out here, and I don't understand why they're consuming people.
Is that... Yeah, I guess if you're right, then I don't think I've encountered... Of course, there's goblins most places, but particularly cannibalistic ones that turn really big when they get hit, that's different. Thanks for...
Yeah, it's a bit concerning. I'm wondering if maybe they're religious and worshipping someone they ought not be,
I mean, it could be. I don't remember them, at least I don't remember them wearing like any type of like religious-y clothing. But since we don't speak Goblin, we really couldn't hear their battle cries if they were saying for insert any person, god thing here. So not entirely
Well,
possible.
I mean, I did find this, I guess, and I'm gonna like pull the dagger out of my bag and be like, I'm pretty sure it's for the mad god.
Oh,
Uh,
that's kind of something.
Everyone can make a religion check after Mist says the mad god.
That's a dirty 20.
14.
18.
15.
Oh. Yes, Mist.
just
Says
to be
God.
clear, dear God, just to be clear, were we all emblazoned with that, or was that the type that
Everyone was
we all were.
emblazoned with it.
Okay.
Yep.
I couldn't remember if it was after my dream specifically or the shared
It was
dream.
after the shared dream. You all woke up with the same emblazoned heart, kind
That's
of
right.
pressed, burned, but not painfully burned into your bodies elsewhere.
All right.
But you all recognize the symbol of the mad god. You recognize that symbol is on your body. And it sends you kind of into little like flashbacks, really, of your experience with the mad god being plucked from your dreams or your day-to-day activity and thrown into a puzzle dungeon, like, and then at the end of it being met by the tallest figure that you can think of. And welcome in, Raiders!
Welcome.
in, Raiders.
Hello!
Thank you.
Thank you for raiding! And, the symbol you remember being on a tapestry inside of one of the rooms of the dungeon, and also you remember seeing a masked face, unable to tell where the voice was kind of coming from. It seemed to be coming from a bowl around you always, and kind of snap out of your little memory and recognize that these two things are at least minorly connected.
So I don't know if you know much about the mad god, but one of the ways that people usually worship is sacrifice.
Uh,
So it's possible they've been, sort of infected, I guess, by that.
so this is all related to that. This and
Rogar kind of like lifts his shoulder armor up and then has like, shows off the burn mark that we all have.
You know, I've only been venturing, I think, for only a couple of years now, and it seems like the worst things that have happened so far have been because of this mad god, and kind of annoying.
He's pretty objectively awful. Yeah. I know. I've studied a bit about him. Being a cleric, priestly things. But maybe we should walk and talk.
Yeah,
Perhaps.
I
it's
thought we
certainly-
already were.
Oh, were we?
Same.
Are we just?
Whoops.
You're all walking significantly slower because I've got short legs.
Mist is hustling up.
Is your movement speed 25?
Oh yeah.
Take a first level spell slot. You have Longstrider cast on you, so now it's 35 feet.
Oh,
Ooh.
right. Thank you.
So fast.
You are
legs.
welcome, my friend.
Your legs kind of feel like they were pumped with adrenaline.
Woo!
Maybe they get a little size thicker with 2 C's.
I think
You're ready for walking.
these legs were made for walking. But yeah, so I'm a bit concerned that the influence has spread this far, and that they're sacrificing people.
It's concerning to say the least.
You know, I have a really, I guess, probably bad, but it's kind of weird and roundabout, but it could work. If we said wanted to, make peace or just, talk to them, then if they worship the Mad God and we have the Mad God branded on our bodies, then we could just be like, hey, goblin people, we're apostles of the Mad God. And we said, you can't kill these people because they're special. So kill other people? I don't know.
It seems like trading one for another, though.
Or we could say no people, but I feel like that would be too big of a lie to like get across. But it could at least get them to not kill us on sight. But then we have to like make a flag or something of like the Mad God, and I really don't want to put that much time into making something with a symbol on it. That's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work, Amara. I agree. I think perhaps if we encounter them again, we try and speak to them. If they're not open to communication, then we defend ourselves.
Ew! You hear in the distance.
Look here, you little snot.
This is bait!
What's bait?
He, busts out of the tent that he slinked off to, completely covered in viscera, having dug through the piles of minced meat that was rotten and disgusting. This has been fed to all the animals that we've hunted. We can't eat anything that is fed this.
Is it, poisoned? What about that boar?
I think it's poisoned. The boar was fine. We ate it. We're all feeling good. But this has been found in so many things that we've hunted throughout the forest for the last few years. I wonder how it's being made.
Is it,
Well, I have a bit of an idea, but the rest of it is, a mystery to me.
Mystery for another day.
Yeah, so listen, I don't want to hang around here any longer than we have to. Can we get to the going?
Yep. Hawkfeather, he obliges.
You need
Walks
a
up
bath.
towards the group. Ugh, fine.
You did this to yourself.
You're right, I did. My dad's gonna be really upset.
I don't even
looks-
have any more water.
That's okay. It'll
You're
be
gonna
fine.
need it though.
We'll find some, don't worry.
maybe
Hey,
just
water.
roll in the dirt a couple of times to try and get the scent off? Wiggle around some.
And it's blood
Blah.
and dirt.
And there'll be
it's-
dusty, crumbly bits.
I'd rather be dusty and crumbly than smell like that. And I just gesture.
Hey Jen,
Yes.
this is in the minced meat is in a tent, right?
Yes.
Phone guy walks into the tent.
Okay. Everyone's going to this tent.
You know what? Rogar actually does.
The tent I said not to go to. Everyone's like, yeah, let's go.
Let's go to
One
this
at a time.
tent.
We all have to inspect it.
Hawkfeather, while you walk into the tent, though, Hawkfeather will dust himself off with floor dust. And as you walk into the tent, you see buckets of minced meat smelling rotten with lots and lots of flies and blood just mixed with the dirt below. Muddy, stompy, and disgusting.
Wonderful.
The scent only contained by the leather scraps above it.
Lovely.
Mhm.
I'm spreading my spores.
All right.
Spreading
kind
my
of-
spores.
Shake off some spores as you're filling the tent, and does the group take off, or Right.
I think so.
If
I
we're all
think it's
grouped up.
fine.
Yeah. Trips has been doing the Sonic like foot tap, looking around kind of situation since everyone decided to go back into the tent.
I didn't go back into the tent.
No, I didn't. I was joking. No.
I did.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I did.
All right. So, I almost said Firehawk. Hawkfeather, walks out of the camp with you guys, and fairly quickly, being half a day goes by, you guys find the moss trail again, and you pass the footprints on the way out, though, of the camp, and they do in fact head east. Stomps clearly intact going towards the east, with no care for being stealthy. And you guys make it all the way to the moss pathway, and nothing seems to stop the trip. There was nothing that stopped you. There was nothing that got in the way or caused concern. You guys had a nice stroll with Hawkfeather smelling less than divine. And we'll take a short break before we do the second half.
Alrighty.
Well, bam.
Let's do it.
Thanks, my wife.
Stick
Roleplay
around for.
party. Roleplay party. We spent half a game talking in the place we ended up last time.
There were-
I love it.
Fun time.
Yeah, it's amazing. I love
It
it.
just happens.
I love it.
An
It's
empty
good.
camp in like 3 tents.
Yeah, you guys were like,
Surrounded by dead
hour and a
bodies.
half,
and
let's
Well,
go.
if you wanted it to be quicker, you shouldn't have asked every single player what they were doing.
I love that though.
everyone, I do not want to have someone be missed out on an opportunity of something they might have wanted to do.
Well,
and
only one
weren't
of us
able-
is missed.
Well, who's missed? Oh, just kidding.
Hey.
All right.
On that note.
On that note, bye.
Bye.
Mixing with like, you ain't shit, you never been shit, you never will be shit, in an attempt to overwhelm someone that she can either, just stumble over, like doing mind stuff, because Riot knows that mental things take a lot of foundations before you can actually start influencing other people, but Veronica doesn't know that because she's new to this shit. And I also want her to overreact. So,
You hear a voice, very gentle in your head. You feel a soft, cool tingle sort of run down your spine. It says, "Child of Timora."
What is this?
Who is this? Which god is this?
Well, I know who Timora is, but
No,
like,
I know, but this is not Timora.
how did you get this number?
This is new phone. Who knows?
And each one of them is holding an empty beaker of V24.
Or nor Cleor.
oh shit.
I've only heard them say that one other time, and that means, oh fuck. We're done. We have to fight.
Are we making this canon?
Yeah. Or nor Cleor. Oh fuck. Swollen. I made you guys come here, and I don't want to make you wait until the next day.
You know what? I'm curious about where this goes. And she is going to hold on to her. No, at this point, she doesn't even wear gloves because y'all know something. So she's just gonna touch her hand and it's gonna glow. And you're now blessed for whatever you want to do.
Well, now I feel nervous. Feel?
Hero, you know you're in the present because you are present. Goodbye.
I can't do sports because of a bleeding disorder. Well, I couldn't do contact sports, so they were like, you could ride horses. I was like, horses smell like shit. You
Ride
play
horses?
water polo. I can't swim that well.
Ringworm.
You can play golf.
I'm sorry.
Golf?
That was
I'm a teenager. I don't own a boat. I can't complain that much about the weather. They won't even let me rent a fucking golf cart.
Yeah.
So I got golf lessons, and
so anyways, I played golf.
So I busted my mouth open with a fucking club bending down to get a ball one time, and and I stopped doing golf.
They're the kitchen.
Yeah, but he did also say that there's like an hour wait before they go to bed, right?
A while.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he said
So
the people from the kitchen are gonna be back in about a minute and a half now. He said 2.5 minutes, but it's been some time since you guys.
Right. So
If we knock out the people coming back, then we have more time.
either way, we have to wait an hour. So.
Unless we also knock out the guards.
Well, I have a plan for the guards.
Okay.
But
Perhaps rich things don't sit well with me then.
Is it rich things, or could it be?
You like Rowan?
all right, fine.
Picks it back up.
And she makes eye contact with Nisa and says, "On your mark."
Ready, set, go!
Constitution saving throws, please.
Hey!
Just splat. Just complete and utter.
I understand. Say no
Yeah.
more.
It's very.
I don't know about you, but I'm excited to have Patreons on Feywild and Out's Patreon channel or page or something.
We are the cult of Zoe. We always sing her praise. And if you think we can't, we'll torture you for days.
Feel it.
And that's why the people of this plane believe in Zoe, or else they get slain.
And eaten.
Shivers, literal chills.
A level 2.
Okay.
By the way, I didn't mention that. Okay, so to hit, it is a 9.
A 9 will miss,
Rip.
unfortunately.
Swing and a miss.
A swing and a miss. And that will bring us to Danis. Unfortunately, Danis, they did not get super within range of you. And I feel bad about that, but here we are.
Just a melee in airship combat.
Just melee.
Nisa, you have like probably one of the best shops around. It's everything's so unique. It's different. It's different, but in a good way.
I like
Fall down.
contort to like be aerodynamic.
So basically, you just kind of do a squat, and your legs
Robo
are
squat.
perfectly like horse stance as you're just sliding down this water slide, and down below you see Kills just arrive on foot through the water slide, just in a squat, perfect land, and then stands.
I have arrived.
Word art, like bubbles, keep like appearing, and you actually watch as Veronica literally has to physically like move them away as they start like overcrowding her. Overruled. All of them just keep crowding in, and she's having to like push it away. And finally, when she does, after like almost like this swarm of like legal terminology, like word art bubbles, are
About that time, you hear a loud crash from the room,
Nothing?
Nothing. And Rowan's gonna walk towards whatever that noise was.
Yeah.
Dennis is quickly like picking things up and putting them into his arms, and he kind of like wheels around and looks at you.
Holding muffins, also looking at you.
That
May?
yeah, you.
Ooh, I mean,
You attacked us, and you have more tears on your face than the person who died.
did you watch him kill everyone?
Oh yeah. No, I didn't, but I've seen it before with animals. I killed a man.
I watched you kill like 7 of us. He's just like, he's significant.
And the letter's like slowly getting more smudged. Do you make sense of this? There's something in your mouth. And Ari will jump up and is trying to take it off.
As soon as it comes off, she goes, "Oh, thank goodness! I haven't seen anybody in 3 days. Oh my God! Oh, that's a letter. I think I can read letters. But it looks like the common. Okay, so I don't know what a rom is, and it looks like the thing's getting kind of smudged. So I don't know if I can tell you what a rom is. But my uncle, I think, had a rom once. But then he caught him, and he was dead real quick. That's where you get started with."
Fungi smashes the good berry into their face.
Oh no. No, no.
Does fungi have a discernible jaw that opens, or did you smash it into
It does not open. No.
Okay.
Okay. That's what I was checking.
Yeah.
So you just gotta
It's
have like
like
a mouth
Bubba
shape.
berry face, Bubba berry face.
it's like where.
All right, fine.
Picks it back up.
And she makes eye contact with Nisa and says, "On your mark."
Ready, set, go!
Constitution saving throws.
Hey! It's rolling. I made you guys come here, and I don't want to make you wait until the next day.
You know what? I'm curious about where this goes. And she's going to hold on to her. No, at this point, she doesn't even wear gloves because y'all know the thing. So she's just going to touch her hand and it's going to glow. And you're now blessed for whatever you want to do.
Well, now I feel nervous. Set,
May?
yeah, you.
Ooh, I mean,
You attacked us, and you have more tears on your face than the person who died.
did you watch him kill everyone?
Oh yeah. No, I didn't, but I've seen it before with animals. I killed a man.
I watched you kill like 7 of us. He's just like, he's significant. Just splat. Just complete and utter.
I understand. Say
Yeah.
no more. Fa-
About that time, you hear a loud crash from the room that Dennis is in.
Nothing?
Nothing. And Rowan's gonna walk towards whatever that noise was.
Yeah.
Dennis is quickly like picking things up and putting them into his arms, and he kind of like wheels around and looks at you.
Holding muffins, also looking at you.
We are the cult of Zoe. We always sing her praise. And if you think we can't, we'll torture you for days.
Feel it.
And that's why the people of this plane believe in Zoe. Oh, or else they get slain.
And eaten.
Shivers, literal chills.
Through the kitchen.
Yeah, but he did also say that there's like an hour wait before they go to bed, right?
A while.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he said
So-
the people from the kitchen are going to be back in about a minute and a half now. He said 2.5 minutes, but it's been some time since you got
Right. So
Gonna leave.
If we knock out the people coming back, then we have more time.
either way, we have to wait an hour. So.
Oh. Unless we also knock out the guards.
Hello, everybody. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Welcome back, guys. I hope you had a good break. Hope you stood up. Hope you got water. Hope you got snackies. Make sure you got the blood circulating through those legs because we don't want blood clots.
Yes. Very much against blood clots here.
Well, I would say what has happened so far, but so far we have we found our adventurers back at the I almost said orc camp, the goblin camp that they completely broke apart. They killed every goblin in there, and they found a few things. They found this moss that burns you when it's out of water somehow. They found a dagger that appears to be a ceremonial dagger for the Mad God. And they also learned that the viscera around the area is bait that's being fed to the nature and wildlife around, making it uneatable by anyone other than the goblins, probably. You guys decided to head on back with Hawkfeather instead of making him go back by himself. Not that he couldn't protect himself. Just to... Why are you guys going back with him?
To figure out what the heck this moss is.
Okay.
It's been a day, you know, fighting
Has been a
goblins,
day.
and you know, I'd like to go back, have a nice place to sleep and a meal. Like, that's it.
Rest in the long capacity.
Mm-hmm.
A long tight rest would be nice.
That is fair. So, you guys travel half a day. The sun raises over the trees, kind of sprinkling in the light as you guys make it on the mossy pathway back to the safe area of Hawkfeather's little town of a small people. And as Hawkfeather comes in, kind of bursting through the protective magical bubble, he says, "I'm home!" to everyone in the little town. And they all, a couple of them are like tilling the little farms that they have outside, and they pop their heads up and wave and go back to tilling. And Runs with Water is actually walking around with a large book. He's talking to some of the one of the older individuals in the town. And he looks up and sees you guys, and he gives you a head nod, and turns back to the conversation he was in. And Hawkfeather kind of runs off to his little house. You guys are brought back to the small, very small little village that you were at before, with 6 buildings, a small amount of people, with no femme tabaxi around at all.
We should probably find Runs with Water and have them take a look.
That is my suggestion, yes.
I also brought back the remains of the tabaxi instead of leaving them at the camp.
Who should we give those to Hawkfeather's father, you think?
I don't know what to do with them, but I assume they would want to take care of their dead, you know?
Yeah. So I'm gonna
Guys
go
check.
with Hawkfeather.
Okay. So you kind of run off with Hawkfeather, and he bursts into his little abode, and his father immediately gives him a giant eyebrow raise. And Hawkfeather just, I'll go bathe. He walks out past you, and you kind of have the bucket in your hands.
I'll plug my nose as he walks by.
I don't smell that bad.
It's
And
that bad.
Kind of
Yes, you
disappears
do.
behind. Disappears behind the house, and Hawkfeather's dad, Art of Shadows, looks at you.
Rogar is gonna give him a deep bow, because it appears to be what they do around here, and gonna present the bucket and remaining skulls from his backpack, not knowing what to do with them.
There's a slowness in Art of Shadows. Like, he sees you bow and kind of tilts his head in a dog-like curiosity, and he takes a step forward and he bows back to you really slowly, and then you present the skulls. You see almost immediately this sunken face. Any masking or eyebrow raising that he was doing to appear happy completely falls. And he looks and holds his hands out, and you can see that he's like thinking rapidly, and he just says in very broken common, "Family?"
A family.
And he takes the bucket of skulls from you and puts it onto the floor, just completely sitting in front of it. In front of you, standing, he begins to like pick the skulls out and look at them in the face. He like puts his claw kind of through some markings and puts it down and takes the next one.
Rogar's just gonna sit down.
Looks at them and deeply, and you can see that he seems to be recognizing who he's picking. Every single face he makes different. Sometimes he smiles a little bit, like, "Nice to see you again, old friend," type of thing, and he picks up another skull and looks at it. He does a big sigh, and he looks at you and says, "Family," nodding his head.
Just nod and just kind of solemnly just be with him.
He doesn't cry or anything, but you can tell that he's feeling a sense of relief that seems to maybe have been looming with this face that just is completely serious and drawing back. And he's just kind of placing the skulls out. Of course, right at the moment. He like spreads out the skulls. And you manage to pick up like 10 of them. And he starts kind of grouping them together in various ways. Like, here's 3 skulls in a pile, 2 skulls in a pile. And he was like, he looks down and seems to be thinking again, just and looks at you and bury.
I'll just
But he's like trying to figure out how to say what he already said correctly.
Barry. Do you want help?
He nods his head.
Okay.
Rogar's just gonna reach a hand out and just put it on his shoulder, and then just kind of give him like a a squeeze.
It's a big sigh back at you and just says, family.
Family.
And do you continue to sit with him or kind of while everyone else is outside?
Yeah.
Okay. So everyone else outside, where was your intentions of going? You see Hawkfeather walk into his house and then immediately bust back out with the biggest, like, head-hanging slouch as he goes behind the buildings. Well, tents more so. But...
I'd like to go 2 runs with water.
Yeah, you walk up to him and he's having a conversation in Cholt with the older man with, what did I name? Old tree? Old tree.
Yeah, old tree.
Yeah, I was like the old tree. Yes. He's having a conversation with old tree and he sees you walking up and he kind of does kind of like a symbol with his hand in front of old trees, and he does a bow and then kind of closes the book and turns to you. I'm surprised to see you back. Not because I didn't think you'd make it, let me say that clearly.
So I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit worried for a second. I know that we're not like the best adventurers, but like have a little bit more faith in us.
I didn't mean it like that. I definitely just meant I'm surprised because usually visitors are passer-throughs.
Well, I'm not really sure how long we'll be staying, but we did decide to come back for a little bit. But I am here for a particular reason this time. So we found this
book to his side.
So we found this like really. You know what? It's just better to show you. And she'll take out the not Ziploc bag of mice and just open up the pouch, but not actually touch it this time because she's learned her lesson. Yeah, so we found this really, I would say, it burns. It's a burning moss, but I wasn't really quite sure what exactly it was. The moss seemed pretty normal, but the flowers seemed different. But I couldn't really tell how exactly they were different. But I know that if I could figure it out, then it could make for a really cool potion. So
I think I know exactly. And he kind of puts a claw on the inside of the bag and looks in. Yes, you found what we call fire moss. It's very simply named, but what else does it do but burn you? We learned that it's sunlight, actually, that causes its powers to grow, and then once it seems to be shown air, it begins to burn. So I would keep that tightly sealed.
So it's powered by sunlight, and air is what makes it burn.
Yes, so it doesn't burn at night.
Huh. Interesting. Well,
Kind of like harnessing the sun power and emitting its heat through tiny little leaves. He kind of giggles.
Well, it did hurt a lot, so the tiny leaves really do pack a punch. Interesting.
Can I ask where you found it?
Oh, we found it at the goblin camp, the one that Hawkfeather knew about. We went to that one and kind of like unalived all the goblins there and found some moss, and it hurt a lot, and fire moss.
Yes, so fire moss is, I guess, typically used for building moats, putting the moss around in a moat for it to grow, and then when it's needed, people will, or whoever is passing through, they will fall into the water and the moss will overtake them with burning sensations, and it's pretty dangerous. You have a very small amount of it. But it'll keep growing if you put it in water.
It's actually really smart. Huh. Well, I'm glad we didn't take that bath through. That would have been really bad.
Yes, it's like using nature for your own benefit.
You know, if you have ever, has anyone ever used this in like a potion or enchanting stuff or?
I certainly haven't tried, but there is a small town to the. He kind of thumbs through like his Rolodex in his head to the south. Kind of near the beach that you were washed up on. And it has human people, I believe. Maybe halfling.
Human people?
They're very short. Human people. They,
Like my height or shorter or?
I'd say shorter than you.
All
So,
right.
Maybe halfling, I'm not sure. I've never been there. I just know of them, but they have a lot of knowledge of using nature for your benefit. I think they're a pact of druids, if in fact, but...
Really?
I think so.
That's awesome. Okay, so I'm really excited about
they
that.
would know about potions is all I mean.
We should go there.
I really want to go there.
Behind Amara.
I did not know you were there, but yeah, we should.
Here the whole time. We should go.
Oh, well. You are quite small.
Amara, they're like your people, but smaller.
Are you too a druid?
You talking to me?
Yes.
Yeah, I actually, yeah, I am a druid. I study the healing myself, or at least try to anyways. It took me a really long time to get a knack for it though, so.
No, I remember, and then of course, yes, the healing. I should travel back there sometime and visit family.
Speaking of the healing, I was just wondering, perhaps, do you know where that would be located compared to, like, where we are here?
Yes, yes. Directly west, over the mountains, which would take you about a month, by foot. And then to there, you would hit the city of Kark, and then you would go north. Through the Forgotten Forest, all the way to the healing, up in the mountains.
Oh,
but I've heard
there.
there's a dragon problem. A black dragon, actually, that kind of farms souls, in fact. So it's been very dangerous and untouched for many years.
The mountains to get there, or the healing itself?
The mountains to get there.
Oh, all right, good. I was gonna say that's concerning on a much quicker level than I thought.
I don't think I would be here if that were the case.
Yeah, you know, that's probably accurate. I've never actually been to the healing.
It's really, really nice. You have like, so like there's like this town, and that's where I'm from actually. And then the town, it's like a normal town, and you have a bunch of druid people, and then you kind of climb up the mountain a little bit, and then there's like, you know, like the druid conclave, and then there's like just the area where all of like the undead are, and they're like really chill. I feel like it's just a place to, like, you know, hang out and be alone with your thoughts sometimes, or maybe not be alone with your thoughts because there's people there. And then of course you have like the big tree, and that's really awesome too. I think it's probably the best part. It's really, really, really pretty. But yeah,
There's also the spa, essentially, of the souls that kind of roam there. People bring their sick, their dying, to the healing to live out forever in the reposed air.
Oh,
Yeah.
is there? I don't know. Would either of you know if there was like a city, like underground below the healing?
Yes, yes. The healing, the gentle repose that comes from the tree also keeps the underground city alive. But as far as we're aware, and for as long as the tree has lived, those skeletons essentially have been nice.
Yeah. They're
At
quite
least I
friendly.
think.
They're at least, yeah, I only seen the ones on, like, I guess whenever they come up to the surface level, they
Right.
haven't had a need, but they seem pretty. They're definitely not like the skeletons I meet everywhere else, where they're like, die, die, die. Like,
Oh.
they're like, you know, undie. Well, not really undie, because, like, the skeletons themselves
Right.
are undie, but you get what I mean.
No, yeah, absolutely. So it would take a pretty significant feat of, say, magic or something to make those skeletons not friendly. Right?
I would
It
say
would.
so.
Would
Yes.
it be like a corruption of the healing itself?
Well,
I mean, to do that, you had to be a god, wouldn't you? Or, like, god-like level. Be pretty rare,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, I would say that. A god could probably shift the alignment of such nice skeletons, I would say.
Mist will just like absent-mindedly scratch at the mad god brand, like while they're thinking. All right then. That's good information to have. I think perhaps, Amara, I'd like it if you took me there someday relatively soon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's great. Like right now?
Well, I mean, it's a month away, so, you know, I mean, probably not like right now, but, you know, if we could get the rest of the party on board with maybe going to check that out, that might be important. It might be important. There's a reason I'm out here, out of the mountain, you know, and it has to do with that whole thing, so eventually might be good to get there. Not trying to push anybody, just you
No,
know,
that makes sense.
concerned.
Yeah, I think that'd be actually really great because I still have to drop off like all these herbs to Sachi, so she'll probably be wondering about that soon. She's probably wondering about me.
Would they still be good after a month of travel, do you think?
Well, I think some of them because you can dry most of the herbs, but I'm not really sure about the moss, which is me. I think that she would really, really like the moss. So
Well, just keep it in
hopefully
water.
I can figure out a way to keep it alive. But water, but maybe I need to find like a glass jar instead of like this leather one. Maybe like cloak it so then it doesn't get sunlight. So then I just have a really hot jar with me always. That'd be really
It'd be
dangerous.
good for like keeping you
Or-
warm at night, though.
That is true. Or I could use it like as a weapon and be like, stand back. I have a hot jar, and then eat it.
That would be threatening. I like that. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Should we go find the rest of them? Maybe.
Yeah, I think so. And tell them about the druids, and I'm sure that everyone's tired, so we probably should sleep too.
Right.
Yes, I would like to have one word with your mushroom friend. I have some knowledge. I spent some time last night researching the mushroom off their
what-
body.
I'm so curious what you came up with. I'm not sure where they
Yes.
are.
Where would you
Amara
be,
pokes her head up.
fungi?
Fungi is probably still standing inside the hut, just kind of like not awkward because
You went to the Runs with Waters hut?
no,
Where'd you go?
he's still in.
You
or
followed
they're still in
Hawkfeather?
Hawkfeathers.
Okay,
No,
got
they just never left because it sounds like two of the others just walked out the door, and Fungi didn't know what to do, so they just stood there.
Okay. Well, yeah, around this time you would have seen Rogar stepping out and Art of Shadows actually carrying the skulls and systematically behind everyone's kind of peripherals. You kind of generally see him go in and out of his house, putting the skulls in front of some of the 6 buildings that are around the town. You can assume he's taking them to their homes
Mhm.
and placing them in front. And then later on, he's gathering shovels. He's basically building and prepping for a short funeral behind you guys for the rest of the actions. But Rogar, you step out kind of mid-conversation, and Fungi are left in the building.
I won't leave. I won't leave. You know, wouldn't leave Fungi.
Leave Fungi. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, if he's doing his thing and taking care of the dead and all that, I would leave him be, when appropriate.
What would you like me to do with your soul when you perish?
That is a great question. I would say bury me with my family, but I can't quite do that.
Why not?
I can't go back there.
Why not?
It's a long story.
And he reaches his hand up and traces the scar that curves around his eye. And then just gives him a smile, and
we should find our friends.
Alright. We should find our friends.
At that moment, you guys step out together instead of separately, and runs with water. Looks over. Oh, I was just asking about you. Mind if I talk to you, Fungi?
Sure.
Well,
I'm sure it will be a pleasant exchange.
hope so. I just wanted to tell you, as he kind of strolls away from Mist and Amara and towards Fungi and Rogar, I spent all night looking into your body. I learned the whole group is behind, like,
Trying so hard to listen. Do I need to make a perception check to see?
sure,
if I can
yeah, it's
eavesdrop?
like maybe 15-20 feet away, so yeah, you can do a
I'm
perception
listening
check.
real hard.
I'm pulling a Hawkfeather.
Ears. Whether when we need him.
Hawkfeather's showering, the longest shower of all, because he's covered in viscera.
12.
Nice. I got a 21.
Okay, well, you both pretty easily hear this
Sonar.
conversation, and Rogar, you're standing right next to him, so. Where is H? Oh, you are there. Okay. Oh, sure.
Surprise.
Surprise. I didn't want to be like, and what are you doing? And then it's like, silence.
Silence, yeah. H is leaned up against Art of Shadow's house, just kind of by herself.
Okay.
She's
Would
inspecting.
you have been?
No, not really. She's kind of inspecting her clothing for any burns or rips or anything like that. That's
Okay.
really all she's doing.
You can do a survival check, and then, of course, if you find any holes, we'll be patching them up and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, runs with water, walks Fungi. I spent all night, kind of investigating into your body. And I want to ask you a question before I tell you what I found. Is that okay?
That's alright. Please.
So, are you this automaton creature, or are you the mushrooms?
What difference does it make?
That answers the question for me, actually. So, what I found is that this mushroom spreads really fast. In fact, it was growing in my hand as I was carrying it through the evening. And it seeks light. It seeks many things that mushrooms want. They spread, they go through everything, and I'm wondering if there's anything other than these mushrooms inside your body.
Fungi glances down at their body, pondering the question, and then looks back up.
There are other things that make up my physical form. Yes.
Like what? Like
Cables. Metal. Housings.
sorry, you need to be a little louder.
Cables. Metal. Housings.
Okay. So your brain seems to be intact itself. I think. But the mushroom itself has sentience. And I have only ever seen a mushroom like this one other time. And it was during my pass through the town of Dorvale, which is west of Kark, which I believe is where you guys may be headed to ultimately. I don't know if anyone there would actually know. I just know that that's the last time that I've seen a mushroom with this kind of growth potential.
Peculiar. Thank you for letting me know.
I wouldn't say that you're dangerous, though, because the mushroom wasn't eating anything. So, for your friends, I just wouldn't eat the mushrooms off your body is all.
I feel like all of us are just standing back there like...
Yep.
Yes, no, I don't mean to cause alarm. It's just curious, because the mushroom is sentient. I can't speak to it, so perhaps finding someone who can speak with plants actually may be able to speak to the... I'm sorry to say this if this is offensive at all, but speak to the infection that you have. Sir. And I wonder how much longer you might have. You seem to be responding as if you are separate from them, so I suppose that would be the fact to look out for. If you stop doing
They are a part of me. But they are also my friends.
Do you speak to them?
I do.
Do you know what they say?
Yes.
Then what is that?
It is hard to explain the thoughts and feelings of a sentient fungus to the human. Or
Well, I'm not a human, but perhaps the druids, looking back to Amara.
Yeah, I would say it's an intermediate level ability to speak with plants. I personally don't know how to yet, but I know that there are a bunch of people that do at the healing. But if there's a closer group of druids and they are at least more knowledgeable than me, then they should be able to speak with plants too. I can only speak with animals right now.
Well, we'll all start somewhere, especially from the healing, and I know that being from the healing, you're chosen to be there. So you have a lot of potential and a lot of strength in your path.
Thanks.
Listen, the healing be with you all. I have noticed Art of Shadows doing something that I think I should help. So I'm going to take my leave. I've left you with a lot of directions. South, west, you know. But if you need directions, I don't have a map, but I knew which way to go. So I'll be around. And he does a deep bow, bids his farewell kind of to the group. He makes sure to kind of look for H to do a head bow because you weren't in the direct group of chatting, but he wants to acknowledge your existence, and then he takes his leave and walks past the buildings and kind of stops in front of the houses. You can see he's looking at the skulls, and he opens his book and begins to pray. I'm all clean! A very wet tabaxi walks out from the back of the house.
So cute when you're clean.
You smell so much better.
You smell quite nice.
Well, I guess this is goodbye. He's just standing there T-posing with wet, like, dripping from him. Just...
Would it be right if maybe we slept here for a little while before we head out?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, let me ask my dad. And he kind of, very quickly in Schult, Amara can understand just bed, house, overnight, small things. And Art of Shadows kind of holding one of the scrolls, looks down at it. He doesn't respond, but he nods his head yes, and then kind of gestures to the house. Well, we don't have a lot of space, but you can rest in my bed and my dad's bed, and we can rest out in the trees because we're good at that, like climbing, like you're not. Pointing to Miss.
Like, they aren't.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at climbing. I just haven't
sleep
been
in the
able to
trees
show it
with
off
us?
yet. I mean, not all of us can sleep in the bed, so I'm okay with that.
I
I'll
can just
sleep.
sleep outside. It's no problem.
Yeah, then take your home.
No.
Absolutely not. No.
I sleep in the trees all the time.
You're
We
like
have
a tree
hammocks.
slumber party.
Yeah, we have hammocks up there.
Oh.
You're just clean though. I feel like climbing the tree might get you all sappy.
Okay, well, I'm clean of blood and guts, but I'm always gonna smell like the trees and the dirt around me. And that's what makes me feel like I'm home.
That's fair.
He does like a shake. He's just wet.
Oh, one more night.
One more night.
All right.
You guys kind of post up into Art of Shadows' house, which is very small. It's a studio. But he brings you guys blankets. Some of them more ratty than others, but he brings you guys blankets. And they're handmade quilts of different materials and leathers, and make sure you guys are at least a little comfortable. He moves the table off to the side so you guys can sleep on the floor, and he kind of holds his arms out and does like a bow as he leaves. Grabs his bow from the door and
I'd bow back.
follows.
Yeah.
Follows Hawkfeather out into the woods. And you guys are left resting for 8 hours, untouched. The birds shut up.
Shut up.
Shush. It's nighttime.
Wish I could do that while I was sleeping or trying to sleep.
Shut up, birds. I
And
always
we
try.
can end
I
there
always
on
say
a
it.
long rest.
Yay!
All right.
Beautiful.
Role play episode.
Mm-mm.
Love a roleplay episode. You guys
They're
have so many directions to go in right
I
now.
know.
I said, what do you want to do before the game? And you said, I don't know. And I was like, all right, here's this, and this, and this, and this, and that, and then. Y'all have amazing roleplay, and I live for it. Aw, thanks.
thanks,
Thank
Stevie. How do you guys feel?
Stressed out.
It's
Stress.
so
We have
much.
so many things to do. I want to know what Hashladoon wants to do as well. I feel like she's so standoffish, and I
Mhm.
want to be her friend. Like Miss wants to be her friend so bad, but every time Miss tries to engage, she flirts with them, and then they just like go her and like
Tactical. Tactical flirting.
I'm gonna keep.
True.
You're muted. Oh, okay.
Sorry. I said for what it's worth, Jen, I got a 5 on that survival check.
Hell yeah. So you didn't find many holes, which is good. Maybe.
You're gonna be
Maybe.
freezing later.
Yeah.
What was everybody's favorite part?
The
content.
conversation.
No, you go first, Sparrow.
No, I was gonna say the conversation that y'all got to have when we got back to the village. I was just like I'm just gonna listen because this is nice.
I enjoyed getting to talk to Hawkfeather. It was a very emotional moment, and I was like, huh.
Yeah.
I could feel it.
Oh, Hawkfeather's dad, Art of Shadows.
Sorry,
going
yes,
through
Art
the
of Shadows,
20
yeah.
Skulls.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for sad things.
Yep.
That's my favorite as well.
Yep.
I'm like, make me cry, make me cry.
I felt it.
I liked pulling a little bit of backstory out of Rogar away from everyone else.
That was nice.
That was good.
It was fun.
There's some details with fungi.
Yeah. Is Aurelian and Danis gonna be best friends, and Rogar and Fungi gonna be best friends?
I don't think so.
Faded.
Never
This
know.
this episode brings up a good point though, in which should adventurers have wills for their party and be like, if I die, do
Yeah.
these things.
Totally, right? Like, I mean, if you're adventuring
Like-
together, the risk
Like
of
cremate
death.
me. Are you okay with me with someone using you for necromancy? Check that box. Like there should be like a
Yeah.
list.
Seriously.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're assuming that someone in the party doesn't have something like that.
True.
We have a double over, I'm pretty sure.
What?
Or the potential to, at least.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we're
Right?
actually gonna use it, but
Wow. I'd always check the necromancy box.
Same.
No.
Well, I definitely want to hear more about you guys' opinions and everyone. I want to know where you guys want to go. But my friends over on YouTube and Trovo and Twitch and Twitter and Facebook, we're so glad to have you guys hanging out with us. And we are going to pop off to a little Patreon chat where we chat about all the things. I'm super excited. So we're gonna pop off over there and say goodbye to you. But Hero, talk about you.
Hi, I'm suddenly a hero. I am a variety horror game streamer. Play a lot of spooky games throughout the week, Sundays, Thursdays, Saturdays. So yeah, come hang out with us. I'm doing 5 Nights at Freddy's Security Breach right now. Jumping back into some Elden Ring, and what else am I doing? Oh, playing a brand new game called Phobia that just released the other week, which has been a blast. So lots of good spooky content. But Jade, what do you do?
Hi. What do I do?
What do you do?
Hi. Hi, Jade. I do the content creation, the streaming sometimes, cosplay and hosting. Yeah, most of my social media is Jade Valkyrie, and Twitter is Jade Valkyrie with the 3, or Twitch is Jade Valkyrie with 3 at the end. But I will also be playing like with Pond on Wednesday, Blackwater D&D for that one shot, and then next week I'll be at San Diego Comic-Con talking about tabletop RPGs with Creators Assemble, and and then this Saturday I also will be hosting an Apex tournament sponsored by Benefit Cosmetics. So that's on Benefit Cosmetics channel, where it's all femme tournament too. So and they're competing for the monies, which is awesome. So not only clout but money as well.
We love clout and money.
Clout and money. And I believe they're also hosting one next month. So in case you are an Apex player and you would like to get free makeup and potentially money, then you could register. I don't have the link, but you could probably just Google Benefit Cosmetics Apex and find it. But you know who would benefit from this segue? Pond.
Hello. I'm Pond. Pond plays games on Twitter, Pond plays games on Instagram, Pond plays everywhere else. You can find me here every Monday night playing D&D with all these lovely people. You can find me Tuesday night over on Architect Loom for our Quest Vault campaign with Jen and George. Lovely time. You can find me this Wednesday over on Blackwater D&D for that lovely charity stream. You can find me usually the second or the third Wednesday of every month on Blackwater, where I play in campaign over there. You can find me on the second and fourth Wednesday of every month over on the initiative order, where I run my own homebrew game. And if I'm anywhere else, I post it on the socials. So make sure that you follow me there. And if you want to follow some other cool content creators, you should go follow Sparrow.
Hello, I am your favorite burb on the internet, A Black Sparrow, and you can find me at A Black Sparrow on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, etc. ShareRobinson.com. I stream here mystery games and also just whatever I feel like, because I am not a great Twitch streamer. But in any event, I'm also here every Monday.
Yes,
and stop it. This is my outro. I'll say how I want.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and you can check out Amelia and Shirk, What Are You Doing, which is a podcast that we have that goes on every Friday, except for when we take breaks because we're burned out human beings. But we're still great, and other people are great, like George W. Ambush.
Hello, I am George W. Ambush. I am a musician, a voice actor, and a TTRPG player. I am here on Mondays. On Tuesdays, I'm over on Architect Lum, playing a cleric because I had to get all of the wisdom classes out of the way, and now I've played all the important ones, so that's awesome. Yeah, I'm returning to streaming Thursday for real this time, for realsies.
Ooh.
And it's gonna be a good time. We're gonna have fun. I can't wait. Be there, be square. Jen, talk about yourself.
Hi, I'm Jen. Jen is online on my channel. I stream horror games and, of course, some indie and free-to-play games every so often. I love doing charity streams and event streams. You can find me there Sundays and Wednesdays. You can find me here Mondays as well, right here on this channel, being the DM of these wonderful people. If you want to see me be a player, you can find me on Tuesdays over on Architect Lum's channel. I play a wild magic barbarian named Sunasha. She is fiery and obsessed with the stars and storytelling, and I love her. If you want more D&D content, I host a podcast with my lovely friend and co-host Emo Ozamar, who was a guest here on our very first or second or third Feywild Fable. The second Feywild Fable, where we hunted dragons. That was a blast, and he's great. So we talk about D&D, and we talk about being a dungeon master and how to do it better, because I try my best to be a good dungeon master for you guys. But yeah, that's where you can find me. I'm all over the place online, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and here, all over the place. And George or Sparrow or anybody, would you guys like to go over all the thank yous?
Yes, I have it right here.
Hey, we love that.
Thank you for reminding me. I would like to say thank you for that follow. Let me go to the top. Girl, 2 hours ago. Pedigree 81555. Thank you for that follow. Girls Run These Worlds. Thank you for that follow. S'more AD. Thank you for that follow. Salty Wolf 65. Thank you for the follow. Agent Yamski. Thank you for the follow. Tamed Ryu. Thank you for the follow. Torn TV or TTV rather. Thank you for the raid. Girls Run These Worlds, thank you for the raid as well. Kristen House, thank you for the follow. XO Girl Wonder, thank you for the follow.
Oh my god.
Eufemi Astarte, I hope I said that right. Thank you for the follow. Sylvie TG, thank you for the follow. Dr. Snugglebutts, fantastic name, thank you for the follow. NPC Voices, thank you for the raid. And Fleetwood Flack, thank you for the follow.
Love that. There's so many follows today.
Oh man.
True.
You guys are
at
wonderful.
250.
I know.
We just hit 200 like 2 weeks ago. If
Yeah.
3 weeks ago? I don't know.
Like 2 weeks ago.
Wonderful.
Soaring through it. You guys are wonderful. And thank you so much to everyone on all the other platforms that were watching us. If you want to, stealing this line, if you want to hang out in our live and moderated chat, head on over to our Twitch always. We're going to raid out on Twitch And we will see you guys over on Patreon, as we said. And speaking of Patreon, thank you again to Arkline for being that tier sub for the shout out. You're the one. You're wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. I can't.
I'll do it too.
I'll just
Thank you.
So we're gonna raid over into Blackwater D&D, you guys. We have a raid phrase in our Twitch chat right now. What's the George
What the
doing?
George doing?
We'll see you in a
What's the
bit.
George doing? Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Let's go.
Let's fucking go.